What is going on, guys? Aggronix here, and welcome to the official launch of the Season 5 Elysian League. Today we jump into our draft analysis, just talking to you guys about what I drafted, why I drafted them, and what I'm looking forward to this season. The Elysian League is back. We have a great competition this season. Every player has a fantastic team, and I think we have a pretty decent team ourselves. We'll jump into it in a second, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of background on why this team happened and stuff like that. So obviously there's 16 people, which means 16 people draft. It was a snake order, which means it goes 1 to 16, 16 to 1. The draft order was obviously randomized, and we were draft number 3, which means we were pretty early, which means our round 1 pick was going to be really solid, which you'll see in a second. It really is solid. But you know, round 2 would be harder to get a good mon, but I actually think we didn't really suffer from that too much. And there's not really much else I have to say. I mean, the Elysian League has always been a league where we've done pretty well, except for Season 4, which was very, very different. Season 3 we made it to the finals. In both seasons we made it to the playoffs, so I mean, that's something to gloat about, I guess. And I think we've always proved ourselves to be pretty good in the Elysian League, but this time I think I really, really want to go the mile. You know, Season 3 we made it to the finals, almost won. It's very, very close game against Sorsen. I think this season we're going to definitely just kill it. We're going to kill it. So, start things off, we were draft number 3. I wanted to get Mew, because Mew and EMZ is not banned, which I'm absolutely terrified when Cubs used it against me. Cubchoo got it round 2, so that was kind of out the window. So I decided to go with my original idea. Tier 0s are allowed in this draft, but Tier 0s cost an extra 80 points. So instead of getting a Tier 1, which I did later, but instead of getting a Tier 1, which was 180 points, I got a Tier 0, which is 260 points. And that mon is Tapu Lele. Now, Tapu Lele is a fantastic mon. One of the best mons in the game right now. You know, in my opinion, I love Tapu Koko a lot, so it'll be interesting to see how I use Tapu Lele. I know a decent amount about it, but I think I'll definitely have to get a lot of experience from it. I've used it a bit on the ladder, and I've seen people use it, so maybe I'll be able to use it decently well. Psychic Fairy Stab's really, really nice, being able to take out a lot of things. The only weakness it really has is Steel. They can get bulky Steels and bulky Fairies, which the next mon Weavile takes out, and that's just great. I love Tapu Lele. Unfortunately, because we drafted a mon that was such high in value, the rest of our draft, you'll notice, you know, Claydol after Como, it's basically all NU, PU stuff, which, you know, is a little bit disappointing, but I think the mons that we got are actually really solid, so we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, Tapu Lele has problems with, like, bulky psychic types, like Cresselia, Uxie, what's another one? Those are really the main two. I don't think either of them were drafted, but it doesn't matter. Next we have Weavile. Weavile is a mon that I was originally going to pick up Infernape, but that went. And I really, really like Weavile. I think Weavile is fantastic. Having a really strong, specially offensive mon like Tapu Lele, mixed with a really, really physically offensive mon like Weavile is really awesome. Not only that, Tapu Lele takes care of the bulky fighting types that Weavile absolutely hates. And another thing that I actually realized last night when I was just like, you know, doing my whatever, I was thinking, I was like, Weavile is weak to Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, every punch under the sun, every priority. And Tapu Lele is obviously immune to that because Psychic Surge removes priority, which means Weavile has such a much easier time dealing with that, which I actually think, so actually I think their synergy is really great. And before we go any further, I'd like to say Tapu Lele is the captain, but the co-captain is Weavile, and Weavile is our Z-Mon. We only get one Z-Mon in this league, which I prefer. I don't like to have, you know, all your mons can use Z-moves, because then it gets a little bit too crazy. And, you know, it's too hard to prep at that point. But Weavile is our Z-Mon, and I chose it because with Tapu Lele, I might want to run Specs or Scarf because of the lack of speed. Weavile, I'm either going to run Banded or E-Belt, and none of those are really, really, like, necessary for it to do well. A mon that I would, you know, think of, that's the reason I chose Torn T in the P-Steel, because Torn doesn't really need to run an item. It doesn't really need to run Life Orb or Assault Vest or something like that. So, a Z-move is perfect. Sorry, I had to pause there, so I have no idea what I was talking about, but Weavile is fantastic. I think I was talking about Z-move. I think Weavile is going to be a great Z-Mon, because one week I would just be like, what item do I run? You know, do I run Focus Sash? Do I run Bandit? Weavile is a weird mon in the Draft League format, so I feel like a Z-mon would be perfect for that. And I mean, its attack reaches what, 339 naturally, and that's without the nature. If I run the nature, then it's like 372. That's crazy, you know. So I'm really excited about using Weavile. Actually, Tapu Lele and Weavile is the first time I've ever used them in the Draft League format. The same with Mega Aero, which is the mon that I partnered them with for a couple of reasons. One, because I really wanted to use it. Two, because I really like the speed, and Lele, you know, obviously is lacking in speed, which is why it's easy to take advantage of. Weavile and Aero stop that to a certain extent. Aerodactyl resists poison. I mean, they're all weak to steel right now, but I mean, steel isn't crazy, you know, scary. Well, I guess Scizor. Just shut up, alright, shut up. Yeah, I really like Scizor. I really like Aero in this game, in this team. Gives us, I mean, weak hazard and removal. You know, we get Stealth Rocks and Defog with Aero, which he isn't the best setter, but he's still good. You get stuff like Taunt. You know, you get Pursuit. You know, I'm talking about all the support options, but it still has some freaking crazy offensive options. You know, you look at his, you got Crunch, the Earthquake, of course, Fire Blast. I mean, his special attack is not usable, but he also has Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Stone Edge. You know, some really crazy moves. And I think that Aero will be used really effectively on this team. I like Aero a lot. I've used it a lot on the ladder, unlike Weavile to a certain extent. I've used Lele to a certain extent as well, but I think Aerodactyl is the mon that I'm most comfortable with, and I think that we'll do the most well with. And also, by the way, if you're wondering, this is actually the order that I drafted them in, just if you're wondering. So next we drafted in Polian because I needed hazard removal, I needed a steel resist, and I wanted a bulky water type. It also gives us Stealth Rocks, and yeah, it gives us a poison immunity as well, so it kind of fills in a lot of the gaps that these guys have over here. I think Polian is great. It does share an electric weakness with Aero, but that's fine. I don't really think that's too big a deal. Shares a fighting weakness as well with Weavile, but Aero and Lele shit all over fighting types, so it's really fine. And I think Polian is a really nice mon, a grounded mon to keep these guys basically healthy with, you know, defog and stuff like that. And I could take care of a lot of mons that these guys can't. Most notably, like maybe offensive water types, which we can roll out, like Feraligatr or Azumarill, you know, stuff like that. So I really like Polian. I think it's going to be really good in this team. You know, unfortunately its speed isn't that great, which I do like on my walls. I do like speedy walls like Gliscor and Uxie. But unfortunately, I mean, it's 6y. It's not that bad. If you know, you could speed creep some things. It's going to be very difficult to do that. I mean, it also has Defiant Aquajet, so if we come up against a person with Sticky Webs, you know, we could do that. Who has Sticky Webs this season? I actually don't even know. Next we have Salazzle. Now, Salazzle wasn't the original plan. The original plan was to pick up Arcanine. That didn't happen for a couple of reasons. Reason being, what was the... I was going to pick up Arcanine, but I got sniped by Zen. I was going to pick up Flygon, but that got sniped by Zen. I was going to pick up Darmanitan, but that was sniped. I was going to pick up Blow Marowak, but that went really early. Yeah, there's no way I was going to get those. I picked up Salazzle for a few reasons. One, you'll notice that none of my mons on my team can beat Fairy Steel Course. So far, Aero can't beat most steel types. Weavile doesn't want to because, you know, if it doesn't kill with low kick or whatever, it just dies. And Lele needs to land a Focus Blast, which is not fun. Salazzle beats both of them comfortably, which I really like. The only thing that really walls Salazzle are like bulky waters. And we have Deli and Vika Volt coming up that really take advantage of those. So I think Salazzle is really nice on the team. It does give us another ground weakness, but it does resist poison. Resist fighting for what it's worth. You know, it's not great defensively, but it still resists it. And it also you know, gives us a Fairy Killer, which is nice. Also a Toxic Spikes Remover, which, you know, could be very scary. With a T. Well, I mean, I guess my walls are Polian and Claydol, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, it's still nice to have it. I don't want Como and Weavile getting dwindled every single turn and then be put in range of, like, a water gun from a Weasel. So, yeah, Salazzle's pretty good. I like Salazzle on the team. I think the speed here is also nice, being able to outspeed 115s like Azelf and Mega Absol, stuff like that, which is really nice. And Mega Absol was drafted this season, so that's definitely a mon that I'm looking out for in terms of scaring the shit out of me. So yeah, I think Salazzle is a nice pit mon. Of course, like I said, I had other plans. You know, Salazzle wasn't the original mon, but I think, you know, after all said and done, I think Salazzle is actually a pretty decent mon, and I think we picked it up. And I don't think I'll regret it. You know, if you do see Salazzle drop, it's not because Salazzle's not a good mon, it's just maybe there's a mon that fits the team better. But it is a fairy killer, so that's why I really, really like it. Next we have Como, which is why we needed the fairy killer in the first place, because Como is a dragon fighting type, so fairy types, you know, destroy it. But our team isn't that weak to fairies. You know, the only mons that are weak to fairy are Weavile and Como, I believe. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, there's no other weakness. So, you know, maybe we aren't that weak to fairies, but Como definitely is. But I like Como a lot. I sniped it off Zach, which I feel bad about because I was really going to get Flygon, but that went. But I like Flygon, or I liked Flygon because it had Dragon Dance, but it was also speedy. And Como is that to a certain extent. You know, its speed isn't that great compared to Flygon's. You know, base 100 is a lot better than base 85, but it's still usable. With the choice characteristics, it can do a lot of damage. It can go physical or special, which I like. It has enough bulk to where you can actually set up a Dragon Dance or set up a Autotomize, which is really cool. And you know, it has Flamethrower, take care of like annoying steel types, like Skarmory, say, that are like, you know, aren't weak to fighting. It has Earthquake for things like, I don't know, Alola Muck, or like Skunk Tank, stuff like that. You know, it's just a Swords Dance, even if you want to run that. Like, it's a really decent mon, I think, and I think I'm gonna enjoy using it a lot. It's definitely gonna be hard to use because I don't really know a lot about Como, but Aerodactyl and Como work together really, really well, I feel, because they look fucking awesome. Look at this, look, they look fucking awesome together. Two fucking dinosaurs. And I think as long as I use, like I said, as long as I use Lele and Aero and Weavile correctly, I think all the other mons, while being, you know, while I possibly don't know a lot about them, I think I will, you know, be able to use them. Next we have Claydol, who's a mon that I actually drafted in Season 2 of the Elysian League and dropped it week 2 or 3 because it took 47% from a Nidoqueen's Ice Beam, and I was like, this thing is really, really frail. How times have changed, dude. How times have changed. Now I realize that fucking Nidoqueen is a destroyer, and the fact that Claydol only took 47% is miraculous. I'm really, really excited using Claydol. Gives us Rapid Spin, which is nice. We don't really have a Spike Setter on this team, but it's still nice to have Rapid Spin so we don't have to get rid of our own rocks, which are important for mons like Weavile and Salazzle to snag kills, which they wouldn't really be able to otherwise because they don't really hit crazy hard. Claydol really fixes that with Rapid Spin, being able to keep our rocks up and not having us defog with a Polian. And Claydol is just great. Gives us Stealth Rock, gives us Rapid Spin, like I said, gives us Light Screen and Reflect, which is cool. It's just a nice bulky mon. It's you know, really, really good against Edgequake. You know, it's immune to Earthquake and it resists Rock, which is really, really nice. And because of Levitate, it resists Stealth Rock. It is not weak to Spikes, and it's not weak to Toxic Spikes, which is really awesome. So Claydol is a really, really great wall. It's the only problem I feel with it is that it's kind of weak to Dark and Knockoff, which is kind of scary. But you know, we're gonna have to make do. We're gonna have to make do. I mean, Aero kind of beats most of them, so it's fine. Next we have Vika Volt, which is my pet project this season. Every season I kind of draft a mon that I don't really know a lot about, and I see if I can make it work. In Season 2 I guess it was Superior to a certain extent, because not a lot of people thought Superior was very good. Last season, in the Season 3 I should say, it was Aggron. I used Aggron pretty effectively, and it was one of the main mons that got me to the finals, which I'm pretty proud about. This season is Vika Volt, and I think Vika Volt is probably one of the better ones that I've chosen as my pet project. I like having a pet project every season. Drafting the same old teams over and over again isn't that fun, but having a mon that you don't think is very good and trying to make it work is really, really fun in my opinion. With a mon with such high special attack as Vika Volt, I think it's going to be really, really good on my team. It gives us slow Volt Switch, which I really, really like. If they double out into, like, you know, a bulky grass type, I go for Volt Switch, I go on an Aero, and I just Aerial Ace the shit out of them. Say like Mega Venusaur, bulky Steel, like Jirachi, you know, stuff like that. I can, you know, U-turn out with Vika Volt and then go on a Weavile or Aero and do a lot of damage to him. So I really like Vika Volt on the team. Gives us a ground immunity, which I really, really like because we have a few weaknesses like Polian, Salazzle, and no mons on my team really want to take it besides Aero, Claydol, and Vika Volt, which I'm kind of scared about. But Claydol, like I said, is Edgequake good against Edgequake, so it's fine. Vika Volt is definitely great as well. I would compare Vika Volt to Chandelure to a very, very lesser extent, because Chandelure gets Will-O-Wisp and Combine, stuff like that. But it's a mon that has great special attack, where the rest of its stats kind of lack and let it behind. Or let it down, I should say. So Vika Volt is going to be my pet project this season. And it also has agility. So you know what? If we want to run choice specs 1 week, we can just kind of decimate the opponent. We can run a bulky set with Roost where you can't kill it, because it's, you know, decently bulky. You know, its defense is pretty good. And its HP and special defense are usable, of course. And with agility, I think it's going to be really, really good. I can't wait to use it. I think it has really, really good coverage. With access to bug, flying, grass, steel, and electric coverage, of course. Electric, obviously the big one. I think I'm gonna hopefully use it to varying degrees of success. Hopefully, as long as I don't fuck up, Vika Volt is able to snag a few kills and help me out in certain games. I don't know how effective I will use it, but hopefully I'll use it pretty effectively. Next we have Claydol, our water absorb storm drain mon, because water types are annoying. And I picked up Claydol because it finishes at a pretty decent fire, water, grass core in Polian, Salazzle, Claydol. I think it's a pretty decent core. You have, with Claydol, you have another Stealth Rocker, which I really, really like. So we definitely have a ton of Stealth Rockers, which makes my opponent really have to think about in their prep, you know, what is he going to bring. Claydol is a little bit of a one-trick pony, but it is definitely bulky. It has access to recover, so a natural, you know, reliable recovery is really, really nice. It has immunity to water, which is nice. So you'll notice that none of my mons really want to take on water types up to this point. Like a Polian doesn't want to take them on because it's kind of a stall fest, and Polian, because it doesn't have reliable recovery, it will lose to stuff like Milotic and Vaporeon, stuff like that. Not because, you know, it's like not doing enough damage to it, it's just because you can't kill it, because, you know, reliable recovery. Claydol does fix that a lot, and I really like that. You know, I think it could be a mon that we bring, you know, a few times this season, and it just comes through for us 1 week. I also like the way that it can be physical or special. It's pretty nice, and it has access to move like Earthquake for like fire types, swapping in, and even a Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave for fairies that are annoying. I think Claydol could be really, really cool this season. And there's a lot of moves down here. You know, you have Curse, you have Barrier, you know, cool moves like that. Infestation, which I really, really like, because we have a few teams this season that are just straight bulk, and I'm not going to look forward to facing them. Talk about you, Joey. Actually, is Joey the guy with the sticky web team? I don't actually remember. Yeah, so Claydol is going to be really, really fun to use. I can't wait to use it. As long as I get it right with Empoleon and Claydol beside it, I think Claydol should be pretty awesome on this team. Next we have Wolverine, a mon that was never supposed to be drafted, but we did draft it. Reason being is because Dusknoir went. I was going to get Dusknoir. Dusknoir, I think if you put Dusknoir in instead of Floatzel, it would be such a better team, because we'd have a fighting immunity and just have a great mon. We don't have that. We have Floatzel. Floatzel is actually one of my favorite picks in the draft, because I really, really like Floatzel. Like, if you look at its attack and speed, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. It's just, it shouldn't be on this team. Floatzel is fantastic as a mon, but it doesn't really fit the team, which is the big thing for me. It's an offensive water type, which we don't have, besides possibly Empoleon with like Hydro Pump, stuff like that. Floatzel is immune to Scald, basically. This Pokemon can't be burned, which means I could swap it in on a Scald and know that I won't get burned, which is really nice. Access to Baton Pass, which is nice. So if I had Agility, Baton Pass, and a Vika Volt, stuff like that, I can bulk up. There's Low Kick for Steel types, Ice Punch. You saw Crunch up above. Power Up Punch, which is nice. Waterfall, Taunt, which is always cool. You know, some stuff kind of Thunder Wave you or stuff like that. And it's Iron Tail as well. So Floatzel actually is really, really decent. It's just I feel it doesn't really exactly fit on this team. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to use it well. Wolverine is here. Wolverine is the only nickname that I have yet, but you'll see the nicknames very, very soon. In the first battle against Joey, whenever that is. I think Wolverine's going to be pretty cool for us, but it's going to depend on how well we use it. And finally we have Clefairy, a mon that I always pick up from tier 6 in most leagues. In any league where you have to pick up like a mon from tier 6 or tier 5 that's in a really, really low tier, I always pick up Clefairy because it's just fantastic. Access to Stealth Rock, Thunder Wave, Wish, Heal Bell, Eviolite. With an Eviolite it gets really, really bulky. You know, decently offensive. It has a nice moveset like Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Moonblast, of course, Psyshock, Seismic Toss, you know, stuff like that. So I think Clefairy is really, really great. And I'm actually really happy I picked it up. Now, if you had Dusknoir beside Clefairy, I feel like Clefairy would be able to be used a lot more. Because right now we only have 4 defensive mons, being Clefairy, Deli, Claydol, and Polian. Our team is pretty offensive this season, which, I mean, always ends up really happening, you know, with me. But I think it's going to be fine. I could see a few mons dropping, but I won't say any names yet, because I do really like the team. I like a lot of the mons we drafted. It's just I don't know how well they fit together, and how well I'll be able to use them. We have a few types that repeat, but, you know, nothing crazy. You know, Clefairy and Tapu Lele share the Fairy type. Claydol and Tapu Lele share the Psychic type. What is it? Cradilly and Aero share the Rock type. And Polian and Wolverine, of course, share the Water. I thought there was one more. No, I guess that was it. So you see a few types there, but I think in the end it's not really going to be that important. And I think as long as I use the team correctly and I use Tapu Lele correctly, we should really do well this season. I'm hoping we do. So that's the team draft analysis. If you guys have enjoyed this, make sure to slam the like button down below first. Leave a comment down below. Go down below and tell me what do you guys think of the draft. I like it. I think it's pretty good. You know, there's a few nagging problems, but I think that's just growing pains, and we'll get over it in the first few games as long as I learn, you know, what I need to do to make, you know, mons like Tapu Lele and Weavile work together with the lower tier mons. As long as I find out what I need to do with them, I think we should have no problems with this team, and I'm looking forward to using it. So with that being said, have yourselves a wonderful day. With that being said, bye bye.